Good morning, good evening. It's evening here in Nigeria. My name is Dr. Abdlrazaq Shittu. My program was Doctor of Information Technology under the mentorship of Dr. Donald Carpenter, who made this happen and who happens to be the best human being I've ever encountered in my life. I'm saying it not because he's here, but without him, this work wouldn't have seen the light of the day, because I almost threw in the towel. So Dr. Carpenter, I'm happy that you are attending this symposium. Thank you for being part of this journey. The topic of my research was network function virtualization technology adoption strategies. I'd like to go to slide 2. Slide 2. This is 1. Slide 2. Slide 2.
Yep, Dr. Shittu, you should see that now. There's just a slight delay.
I want slide 2. Slide 2, please.
Yep, it should be showing right now. Do you see that yet?
No, I cannot see it. Okay, I will take it on my screen. Don't worry. Yeah, what actually prompted me to decide to go full hog with this topic was the trending and the hook of alleviating the sufferings of the telcos, of having to provide telecoms services and functions of the legacy middle boxes, vendor logged in hardware. And this came to fruition in 2012 when the NFV technology was birthed, and the technology was going to reduce operating expenditure, capital expenditure each time they want to improve upon the network, as they need to bring in the equipment, they need to pay for software upgrade. This brings a lot of administrative bottleneck. So NFV adoption comes forth with reduction in administrative tasks, power, capital expenditure, and operating expenses. Basile et al. 2019. Also, Gonzalez et al. 2018 put forth to the body of knowledge that NFV technology will enable the availability of network functions and services to be virtually provided to teaming to the plethora of network users. And the anchor to my research work was premised on a body of knowledge that indicated that by year 2020, most of the 80% of the global networking infrastructure or equipment will transit into virtualization template. That's Pataranoko et al. 2018. Then I go back to slide 1. So having gotten the hook and the anchor, which I believe you understand the reason why NFV technology became an innovation in the front burner. The problem statement. The general IT problem is that some organizations are deficient in the adoption of NFV. They are lagging behind in the adoption of NFV technology. The specific IT problem is that chief security information officers, some senior IT executives, chief technical officers in some relevant organizations, especially the telcos and data centers, lack the strategies to adopt NFV technology. The purpose. My research was a qualitative research, and I imbibed multiple case design. So the purpose of my multiple case design was to explore the strategies utilized by the chief information officers, chief security information officers, chief technical officers, and some senior IT executives that have been engaged or involved in the implementation and adoption of NFV technology in their present endeavors and past activities. The purposeful sample for this study was chief security information officers, chief information officers, some senior IT executive in telcos and data centers and blue chip organizations with huge data centers. that have adopted and implemented NFV technology in the eastern part of the United States of America. What's the importance of this study? The significance of this study put forth NFV's technology's ability to enhance or allow network function and services deployment without going through the legacy middle boxes and going through the legacy middle boxes and vendor logged in equipment often comes with disruption, as each time there's a new innovation, they need to buy new equipment, they need to create space. So this brings a great value addition to networking templates. The primary advantage of NFV technology adoption is embedded in its capability to enhance service functionality, availability, enable network function flexibility, network scalability, and efficient resource utilization in which current and future network professionals can leverage on. So it's a serious push towards a positivity in the irreversible future of networking globally. My conceptual framework, this study is premised on the theoretical framework of Rogers, compounded in 1962. That's the division of innovation theory. The division of innovation theory highlights the strategies of technological innovation, implementation, and adoption phases, and referred to as the prevailing theory of technology adoption, Chandra et al. 2016. The division of innovation theory comprises of some characteristics that goes in line with the process of adoption of new technology, and this comprises of relative advantage, which is the economic advantage that new innovation will bring to the table, and also the complexity and the simplicity of the adoption of new innovations such as NFV technology. So, and also observability, which is during the POC, how the POC is able to meet the strict SLA that has been offered by the, I go to slide 3. Slide 3, please. Slide 3, please.
Yeah, that should be up right now for your scholarship.
No, this is slide 2. Go to slide 3. Next slide. Next slide.
You should see relevant scholarship.
No. Okay, let me take it from my laptop, please. Okay, so slide 3, research question. My research question was well thought out. It wasn't easy to arrive at this. It took some time to be able to really come with something that is going to create that opportunity for me to be able to have the data that is required to be able to get to the end of this research. So my research question was, what strategies do chief information officers and some senior organizational IT managers or executives used in the adoption of NFV technology in their organizations? That was the research question. Data collection procedure. Before I went, this is a critical stage of any research. What I did was to procure IRB approval, and to be able to procure this IRB approval, it was through the help of my mentor, who mentored me the way to go, and also warned me that IRB, you have to be strict. You make a mistake, you mess me up and you mess yourself up. And I don't want to ever mess myself, and I don't want to mess my mentor, who stuck his neck out to supervise this important project. So going by my mentor's directives, I procured IRB approval number 07-17-20-0513933. And in this document, I preached to IRB that I was going to get 6 partner organizations, and that these partner organizations, I will approach them through the chief executive officers. And I preached what I practiced what I preached. So I went through the CEOs of those partner organizations that to assist me in assessing the in-house chief information officers, the in-house chief security information officers, the in-house chief technical officers, and some senior IT executives through my LinkedIn Premium and my IAA professional network. This was what I used. And after getting access and written approval, I went back to IRB and my mentor to lay bare the approval from those organizations. And it was after IRB gave me the go-ahead to approach the participants that I went ahead with data collection. And I used methodological triangulation. Methodological triangulation allows you to use diverse means, multiple methods to acquire data from the participant. So in this case, I used online semi-structured interview, open-ended questions, and organizational documents were assessed to be able to retrieve rich data. Participants. The participants were those who had prior knowledge and are proficient in about NFV technology and has stakeholders in such organizations, and those that were responsible for making recommendations to adopt IT technologies within their organizations and are familiar with the adoption and implementation procedures of NFV technology in their previous journey, current organization as well, so as to be able to retrieve rich data from them. Data analysis. This is a critical stage of data of the research. Data analysis. The first thing I did was to establish audit trail, and thereafter use thematic data analysis in data analysis. Thematic data analysis allows you to identify, to analyze, to be able to organize and describe and report the rich data. And this procedure entails me carrying out data comparison between the organizational documents and the transcripts emanating from the virtual interview. Coding of the transcripts followed to enable me to unearth the explanations and identify the patterns trending among the 6 participants. Then I began to gather the teams until saturations were reached before the interpretations of the teams came forth. Findings. My findings revealed 4 entrenched themes comprising of organizational awareness, no hindrances to NFV technology adoption, documentation and implementation plan, operational cost reduction and enhanced network efficiency. That is slide 4. I don't know if you're on slide 4 now. Okay, thank you. You're on slide 4. So slide 4, I repeat again. After the data analysis, after reaching data saturation, I was able to identify 4 critical themes in organizational awareness, no hindrances to NFV technology adoption, documentation and implementation plan, operational cost reduction and enhanced network efficiency. Organizational awareness. Organizational awareness became a trend among the 6 participants. The 6 participants were able to institutionalize the benefits and the values that the adoption of NFV technology will bring to the organization, and haven't been able to show the C-level executives that the adoption of NFV technology will create competitiveness and will enhance the return on investment. Then corporate sponsorship was able to be procured, and the adoption of NFV technology became seamless. And as a strategy, procuring corporate approval and corporate sponsorship through organizational awareness is a strategy that can be used in the adoption of NFV technology. Findings number 2, no hindrances to NFV technology adoption. No hindrances to NFV technology adoption became a trend among the 6 participants, because today, globally, almost blue chip or going concern organizations are involved in digital in digital transformation initiative, because most of the modern day services will be used through digital technologies. Hence, for the organization to be profitable, the executive, the board have no choice other than to allow the adoption of a technology that is going to lift earnings and is going to make the organization more competitive in delivery of services. So no hindrances was trending all through the 6 participants as a result of the opportunity that digital transformation initiative has brought to the table in this research. Documentation and implementation plan. Going through the body of knowledge and going through the NIV and ISG standardization documents, adoption and implementation processes seems to be an Herculean task, seems to be a serious problem. It's like it's nowhere. So most of these organizations had nowhere to fall to. So that had been a little bit of hindrance. But during POCs, the processes and the process of implementation and delivery of services of the NFV technology were documented, and the implementation process and the plan of the configuration setting of the NFV technology template was documented to be in tandem with the NFV industry standard group standardization template. So documentation and implementation is a strategy to making the C-level executive at ease, to allowing the adoption and implementation of this new novel technology, the NFV technology. Operational cost reduction and enhanced network efficiency. Like I said, traditional network comes with a lot of hindrances in allowing the organizations to be swift in meeting the plethora of services that are being demanded by users. So, and traditional network come forth with middle boxes that are vendor locked and that needs a replacement, needs addition, needs additional power, needs more space, needs training. So this investment in all this depletes the profits of telcos, blue chip data center, blue chip organizations, and data centers also. So with NFV coming with the value proposition of operational cost reduction, network scalability, and what have you. So it became a value proposition strategy. So having been able to use value proposition of what NFV technology will bring forth to the organization, so it became a strategy, thus making operational cost reduction and enhanced network efficiency as one of the themes that in 3 participants. You may go to slide 5, please. Slide 5, please. Slide 5, please. Okay, thank you. The interpretation of my findings. The interpretation from the findings revealed corporate recognition and sponsorship driven by digital transformation initiatives that is sweeping the global terrain of networking, became a catalyst to enabling swift and seamless adoption of NFV technology by organizations in the eastern part of the United States of America. 2, detailed documentation of planned procedures became a vital tool that will allow lagging organizations the decision to be able to adopt NFV technology that comes with a 3rd interpretation of value proposition of the NFV technology as a strategy and is a catalyst. So corporate recognition and sponsorship, digital propelled by digital transformation initiatives, detailed documentation and plan procedures, and value propositions of NFV technology as a catalyst come forth as my interpretation of the entire efforts in this research. The limitations of my research. The first most important and worrisome limitation is the participants' genuineness in their responses to my semi-structured interviews. How vulnerable they were during the interview, the limitation, and the authenticity of this research. The second most by participants' varying experiences in NFV technology adoption strategies. My recommendations. I recommend further research of this same topic to collect data from similar participants in diverse organizations such as financial and data centers, or even manufacturing in the same geographical region, the eastern part of the United States of America. My second recommendation is that another similar research should be focused on in getting similar extraction of participants in data centers and financial institutions in different parts of the United States of America in order to be able to compare and generalize the results is hereby recommended. Social change. Like I said, traditional network does not allow a seamless provisioning of network services and functions, as most of the network equipment are physical middle boxes that are vendor locked, and each time they need to provide dynamic user services. They need to either replace the hardware or add additional hardware and even create more space. They need to train their staff. All this requires huge investment. So enhancing organizations' capability to adopt and deploy network functions and services to their customers cost effectively without having to go through legacy equipment and without even having to own any physical equipment. It's a change that the NFV technology adoption has brought to the irreversible future of networking. Because most of the services and functions to be provided to the customers by the telcos from their network is now off the premises. They don't need to buy physical equipment. They don't need to provide power. They don't need to burn down the environment. So this reduction in energy consumption may result in the preservation and protection of natural resources, reduction of environmental pollution that is due to emission of dangerous gases that may result in environmental degradation. Next slide, please. That's slide 6. My references were Bassi et al. 2019, adding support for automatic enforcement of security policies in NFV networks, i.e. EACM transactions on networking. Gonzalez et al. 2018, dependability of the NFV orchestrator, state-of-the-art and research challenges. That's i.e. communication surveys and tutorials. Katsikas et al. 2017, profiling and accelerating commodity NFV service chains with SCC. The Journal of Systems and Software. Mijumbi et al. 2016, network function virtualization, state-of-the-art and research challenges, i.e. communication surveys and tutorials. Pataranatako et al. 2018, NFV security survey, from use case-driven threat analysis to state-of-the-art countermeasures, i.e. communication surveys and tutorials. Rema and Rashid, M 2017, energy consumption to environmental degradation, the growth appetite in SARC nations. renewable energy. Rogers EM 1962, Definition of Innovation, first edition, the Free Press. Next slide, slide 7. That brings me to the end of my presentation. Once again, I love to thank Walden for providing me the faculty that saw me through this research, and most especially Dr. Carpenter. Thank you for making this happen to me. And I can tell you, like the questions you asked me at the final oral presentation about what will this do to me, I can tell you again, I'm repeating it to you, that this research has turned me to a scholar practitioner, and I'm moving forward. Like I said, I've established a company that I will use as a vessel to be able to deliver services and professional services to those companies that are lagging behind in catching up with the current digital transformation initiative that is sweeping the networking scape. Thank you so much for having me and for attending this symposium. I'm now ready for questions and answers. Thank you.
Perfect. If there are any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask those questions.
Abdlrazaq, this is Don Carpenter. Excuse me, Dr. Shittu.
Oh,
this is
how are you?
Don. This is Don Carpenter. Well done.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you for your presentation.
Yes, sir.
I've exhausted all my questions in our previous encounters, but congratulations again on completing your program, and I do look forward to meeting you in person one day.
Next year, after my visa, next year, I will meet you. I must meet you. My family wants to meet you.
We will make that happen.
Yes, God's grace.
Hello, Dr. Shittu. Yeah, first of all, it's appreciated for the fascinating presentation. And I'm as a first-year student, PhD student, but coming with the telecommunication background, it was interesting to ask this question if you considered this open platform for NFV, which it's one of the emerging technologies. And next question, it was about frameworks 14.5, which for digital disruption, it is one of the standard-based tools and best practices, which includes for NFV. And are these two moments are considered in the work? Thank you.
I did not consider that in my research. Your question was, is frameworks 14.5 an open platform for NFV? Open platform for NFV considered in the dissertation? No. My dissertation, are you listening, Rashid?
Yes, I'm with you. Yes.
My dissertation was to unearth the strategies that chief information officers or IT executives or even managers used in the adoption of that technology at all. It is after you have adopted the technology and you understand what you want to do with the technology, then you begin to start thinking of which vendor you want to use. So, or which platform you want to go for. So I didn't go into that. And though during the course of the research, you go into a lot of things in the anatomy of NFV technology, software-defined networking, SD-WAN, and all those. But it is after you have adopted and you want to implement, then you begin to look at what platform, which vendor you want to go with. So I didn't consider that maybe in the future research, it is going to be something that can be looked into. And if you are in the profession, I invite you, you can go in, you can make this, you can use this as a topic in your research. And if you need any collaboration with me, I can assist, I can collaborate with you, because I am already working with telco of Israel and in Nigeria. So they have access to a lot of vendors like Fortinet and what have you. So I didn't consider frameworks or open platform. It was not for consideration. My research was to actually find out why some organizations are lagging in the adoption of this great technology. Thank you.